Hey there! The cyber threat to small businesses has never been at a higher level than it is right now. And small business owners are in a uniquely exposed position because of the close link between their financial livelihood and the fortunes of their business. Both could be severely impacted by a cyber attack. John Byrne here, entrepreneur, insurance professional, online educator and founder of Surviving Cyber. My goal is to help small business owners and managers who are struggling with today's complex digital environment get to grips with cyber risk. If this is your situation, you're in the right place. This short video series, The Small Business Owner's Introduction to Cyber Risk, will get you started on the right track. Through the 6 videos of the series, I'm going to walk you through some important cyber risk topics so you can prepare for a cyber incident in your business and keep your small business and your people safe. Now, before we dive in, I want to give you access to the free ebook that accompanies this video series. It contains valuable content from the videos and it's full of practical tips that you can implement. You can use the link pages.survivingcyber.com/ebook to get access now. I'll also put that link in the video description below. Now, today we get this video series going with topic number 2, cyber risk. Is it just an IT issue? I hope you're ready to dive in. I'm John Byrne and this is the Small Business Owner's Introduction to Cyber Risk. In this video, I will consider whether cyber risk is just an IT issue or whether it's something more. I'll look at 4 different topics. I'll begin with an introduction to the whole topic of cyber risk, and I'll go back to 2017 and explain the progress since then. Next, I'll move on to technology risk, and I'll explain the benefits to be had from the Cyber Essentials control system and discuss the constant changes and where we're going with technology risk in the future. Then I'll consider people risk, the human aspect of cybersecurity, and I'll tell you about a scam which took place some years ago involving up to $100 million. And finally, I'll talk about governance risk and explain the role that the board of directors play with cyber risk. The global cyber incidents of 2017, the massive data breaches of 2018, and continuing cyber attacks every year since then have raised everyone's awareness to the serious threat posed by cyber risk. Recently, there was a further dramatic increase in risk brought about by the remote working environment of the COVID-19 era. These developments have taken place in a relatively short time period, and there's been a rush to find technology solutions. Most people probably think of their IT department or their IT service provider whenever cybersecurity is mentioned. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that cyber risk is purely an IT problem. It's undeniable that companies are increasingly dependent on digital technology, and that exposes them to more cyber threats and risks than ever before. However, while our networks, our devices and our software always need to be secure, it's not just technology that we have to consider. Cybersecurity is a complex business critical risk. It's not just an IT problem. It involves the entire company. And to properly assess the risk, we really have to look at technology risk, human risk and governance risk. These are the 3 pillars of cyber risk. Let's begin with technology risk. It's not surprising that the traditional approach to information security has focused on seeking technology solutions to risk. The IT budget of most companies is a meaningful component of their total expenses, and IT professionals, internal or external, will advise on how the budget is spent. But where is the best place for spending? And for a small business with limited budgets, where is the most effective way to spend? Cyber Essentials, the UK government-backed scheme, is designed to help all companies protect themselves from common internet-based threats. And it sets out 5 technology areas where companies need to focus. These areas are: 1. Secure your internet connection. 2. Secure your devices and your software. 3. Control access to your data and your services. 4. Protect against viruses and other malware. And 5. Keep your devices and your software up to date. Now that's really the starting point for businesses that wish to protect themselves and move forward to becoming cyber resilient. A further UK government initiative is called the 10 Steps to Cybersecurity, and that considers technology risk in more detail, but adds the human risk dimension also. As we all know, technology never stands still. Due to the increased popularity of mobile devices and tablets, the huge growth in cloud computing and the Internet of Things enabled devices, and the expansion of your network through remote working, an increased number of entry points now exist to your network, and they can't easily be secured using the traditional network perimeter firewall. The COVID-19 pandemic brought enforced remote working to many businesses and greatly increased their cyber risk profile. Each of the 5 controls of Cyber Essentials can play a major role in keeping small businesses safe. All small businesses should review their current business operating model and check to see if these Cyber Essential controls are in place. Cyber hackers are using more sophisticated tools such as artificial intelligence. Some now have more sophisticated agendas that would include things like espionage, disinformation, market manipulation, disruption of infrastructure, and these are all realities now alongside a list of very commonplace cyber threats such as data theft and extortion. There will clearly be an ongoing need for IT solutions to counter the increasing technology risk. But what about people risk? In recent years, there's been a growing awareness of cyber risk arising from human behavior. The 10 steps to cybersecurity, which was mentioned earlier, includes the human aspect of cybersecurity by referring to user education and awareness training, the need for an information management regime, and for an incident management planning. In fact, some estimates now attribute 90% of all cyber risk to the human aspect. According to CybeSafe, a specialist provider of human training and awareness software, the traditional definition of the human aspect of cybersecurity is as follows. To some, maybe even most, the human aspect of cybersecurity refers to the risk posed to an organization when people affiliated with that organization interact with technology. Most of the time, the people in question will be employees, but they could be suppliers or any other third party with legitimate access to an organization's network. The definition conjures up images of malicious actors, but the human aspect of cybersecurity, of course, refers to both malicious actors and well-meaning people who could be unintentionally causing issues. When malicious actors target the human aspect of cybersecurity, it's often referred to as social engineering. Essentially, it amounts to getting well-meaning people to do things that they should not do and they wouldn't ordinarily do by using human psychology against them. A good example of human risk is this case where an individual reportedly stole more than $100 million from companies including Google and Facebook. And according to reports, he stole the money not through malicious software or by conspiring with insiders, but through an elaborate scam that eventually convinced well-meaning people into sending the funds his way. CybeSafe addresses the human aspect through video-based training and awareness software modules that are designed to change people's awareness and behavior, but also the culture of the organization. This training is intended for everybody, from company directors down to the newest employees. Changes in awareness, behavior, and culture are measured over time, and an accurate picture is given of the progress made. Through an approach like this, people can become cyber aware and represent the first line of defense for the business against the hackers, so they become an asset and not a weakness or a threat. These people can prevent attacks by ignoring phishing emails, by locking their computer screens before they leave their desk, by using multi-factor authentication, by avoiding websites with security warnings and by updating software to patch vulnerabilities, to mention just a few actions that can reduce risk. The final pillar of cyber risk is governance risk. And having good cyber governance is not as daunting as it sounds. Governance really is all about the ways in which the company is run, and it starts at the top with good levels of engagement from the board of directors, and they should really set the tone for the entire company. Following simple guidelines, processes and procedures can go a long way to ensure that a business implements good governance. Companies should ensure that they have a clear process and procedures in place for all staff to access. One key policy document and procedure that's often missing is a cyber incident response plan. Ensuring that all staff are educated and cyber aware is a big part of your defences. It's essential to have robust policies, procedures and guidelines in place that are understood by all and continually updated in line with new threats as they appear. The entire organisation needs to think about what these threats mean for the business as a whole, for its employees and for its customers. Long gone are the days when we could pass the cybersecurity problems to the IT department or an IT service provider. This is a complex business risk, and it requires an approach that prioritises cyber resilience in all aspects of the business. In truth, a shift of mindset is required throughout the organisation to question when and not if the business will suffer a cyber incident. Finally, small businesses are big business for cyber criminals. If you lead a small business, you may be struggling to make sense of this complex environment. You could be concerned that you may not be doing enough to prepare your business and your people for a cyber incident. If this is your situation, I hope that this video has convinced you that cyber risk is a business critical risk, and it can be and it needs to be managed like any other business risk.
Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to register now for the free ebook using the link pages.survivingcyber.com/ebook, or click on the link in the video description below. I hope to see you again soon for video number 3 in the series, where I'll offer a checklist for cyber risk. And we'll dive deeper into the small business owner's introduction to cyber risk.